My name is Madison Barra, and welcome to my podcast, where it's all about teaching you how to lose weight, keep it off, and actually enjoy the process. I've lost over 70 pounds, and these are the failures and lessons I've learned along the way. Hope you enjoy and subscribe. Let's dive into today's topic, and I want to go over a quick trick that you can implement immediately. But it is something that was really instrumental in giving me peace of mind while I was trying to lose weight. So I've lost over 80 pounds. I've tried a million diets, literally you name it. I've probably tried it. And the reason I tell you this is because me and the relationship, or me and the scale, had a very bad relationship. Does anybody else have a not so great relationship with the scale? Or it's a little rocky sometimes? So for years, I had a horrible relationship with the scale where it would kind of be one of two extremes. Either I would be hyper-focused on it and obsessive over it and, weigh myself way too often and put too much meaning to the number and let the number completely change my mood and ruin my day or make me say screw it and ruin my diet because I was putting in effort but not getting the results that I wanted. Or on the other end, because I had experienced so much negative energy and negative experiences from the scale, I would then just avoid it completely. So I wouldn't even check. And of course, when we avoid things, they tend to get louder. So when I was avoiding the scale, that's usually when I would gain even more weight. So for a long time, I was living in those two sides, those two extremes, either obsessing over the scale or avoiding the scale because I was afraid of it or didn't want to be triggered by it. And if that's kind of where you've been, or if you've kind of tackled that a little bit, but there's still some power that the scale has over you, I just want to share two tools, two tricks, or two even, you can call them reminders of how to improve your relationship with the scale, which will in turn calm your mind and allow you to make better, less irrational decisions on your journey. Because when we get emotional, we tend to make our decisions in the height of emotion. And an emotional decision usually isn't the right decision, right? Now, a good decision can have emotion behind it, but usually in the heat of the moment, nothing good ever comes from that, right? So these two little distinctions or little tricks that I want to share. When you're looking at the scale, okay, first thing you have to do is realize that it is a tool and it is a way to measure your progress. It is just a machine that's going to feed you data, okay? If you do not understand the data will freak you out, or you will misinterpret the data. And if you misinterpret the data, you will make the wrong move. Whether that is continuing to do what you're doing when you should stop, whether that's changing what you're doing when you should continue to do what you're doing, or whether that's giving up altogether. So there's a piece of data that is meant to navigate your journey, not determine your journey. Navigate it properly. So that's the first perspective shift that we always, or at least I found I needed to constantly drill into my head. It's just a piece of data used to navigate my journey. It will not determine whether or not I stop, change, or give up my journey, okay? Now, there's two ways to use it in terms of collecting the data, okay? Now, you have to collect the data the right way. Otherwise, you don't know what's going on. You misinterpret it. You make the wrong decision, like we just discussed. So, the two ways that you should be using the scale, if you're listening to me talk right now, is number one, a daily weigh-in, and number two, a weekly comparison, okay? That is how you should be doing it. If you want to lose weight, you have to look at the scale frequently. If you want to save money, you have to look at your bank account frequently or your credit card statement frequently, right? So we can't avoid it, okay? And by facing it more frequently, like daily, you're now taking control back, taking the power back. But the caveat is, in order to avoid obsession, you have to understand why we are weighing in daily. And this is where this peace of mind trick comes in. So daily weigh-ins, why do we do them? If you are jumping on the scale every morning to measure your progress, to be reaffirmed and justified and verified that, yes, I'm doing the right thing, you will be disappointed and you will be steered in the wrong direction. Okay. Daily weigh-ins are, number one, meant to keep you on track. Just because staring at a number every day means it's at the top of your mind, which will mean you'll probably make better decisions throughout the day. But most importantly, my beautiful fit queens, is a daily weigh-in is there for you to learn your body. If we understood our body, we wouldn't have gained weight in the first place. If we understood what it needed, what it was asking for, what wires were crossed, what hormones were off, what made you bloated, what triggered your cravings, X, Y, and Z. If we understood our body in the first place, we wouldn't be listening to a call like this in the first place, right? So your daily weigh-ins are going to give you so much data that you can finally start to learn your body. So you can learn, oh, I didn't have a good sleep last night. The scale's probably not going to have moved. Oh, I started my period yesterday. Maybe the scale is going to go up a bit. Oh, I drank tons of water yesterday. Maybe the scale is going to go down and flush out the sodium, X, Y, and Z. So your daily weigh-ins are going to teach you how your body naturally fluctuates. Because guess what? It fluctuates. You will not, I repeat, you will not start your weight loss journey and step on the scale every morning and see it go down every single day. That is just not how it works. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. It's not that easy. If only it was. So please do not step on the scale every morning with the expectation of that being the measure of your progress. What you do is you collect that data so that you can understand your body and not react. You can respond accordingly, not react. When we react, we make emotional decisions. When we respond, it means we've studied the data and we act accordingly, right? So do you know why the scale jumps up so high? Do you know why it plateaus? And do you know why it goes down sometimes? Have you learned your body enough to be able to predict what the scale is going to do before you even step on it, based on how your day or how your week went? So that is a trick that I didn't learn for actually a very, very long time into my weight loss journey, because I would either overuse the scale for a short amount of time, misinterpret the data, which would make me say screw it, or I would just avoid it altogether. So I never had enough information to understand why the scale was doing what it was doing, because that's the biggest problem to begin with. We jump on the scale, we want results, we don't know why we're not seeing them. We don't know why the scale isn't responding, isn't cooperating, despite putting in effort. And when we don't know, we're unclear, we're overwhelmed, we get anxious. We think our efforts are for nothing, and then we throw in the towel. When really, we cannot make that decision off of a day-to-day weigh-in. Okay? So there's two types of people listening right now. People who are weighing in daily, expecting progress, and having the scale either excite them or discourage them. Both of those, right? We don't want an emotion we don't want a reaction to the scale. Obviously, you can be excited when you hit a number you haven't seen in years or you've been fighting for, of course. But if day to day you're emotional to the scale, okay, that means you are interpreting the data wrong and you have expectations that need to be readjusted. So that's the one type of person listening. The other type of person is the person that's avoiding weighing in daily because they don't want to see it. When really, I can guarantee you, daily is not going to show you your progress on a macro level, okay? It will micro screw with your mind. So whether you are avoiding the scale right now, daily, because you don't want it to screw with your mind, or you are obsessing over it daily, trying to measure your progress and make a decision that way, both of those are going to get you in trouble, okay? So if you're not weighing yourself daily, start. And if you are, but it's throwing you off mentally, all you need to do is adjust the fact that, hey, this is meant for me to learn my body. Do I understand these numbers? No. Then I need to keep track of them and keep reflecting on them and not expect results every day and not compare yesterday's weigh-ins to today's and to tomorrow's. That's not going to show you progress. So that's kind of tip number one. Harness the power of a daily weigh-in Pretend you're like a scientist of your own body. You got to take notes, do your research paper, write a thesis on your own damn body. You should know that much about it that you can write a freaking thesis about your own body, which we don't, right? Because as women, what do? We take care of everybody else. We learn everybody else's bodies. We learn everybody else's. We bend to everybody else's schedule, but not our own. Now it's the time to be the scientist of your own body. Okay, so that's the first thing. Really adjust your perspective there. Now, the second thing, how do we measure progress? If we're weighing ourselves daily and we are only doing that to collect data to be better informed scientists for our bodies, then where do we measure progress? Okay, how do we measure progress? Well, that will be the other way to use the scale, and that will be with a week-to-week comparison. So weighing yourself once a week, let's say you weigh every, let's say you pick Wednesday or you pick a Sunday, you pick a day every week, and then you compare that day to the previous week. Okay, this is what most women do. This is the most common one. This is the one that will show you if you are on track or not. Okay, this is the one where you can say, okay, last Sunday I was this weight, this Sunday I am this weight. You can subtract them from each other. Did you lose weight? Yes. Then all you got to do is do exactly what you did last week and you'll keep losing weight. Okay, so that is how you measure progress. Day-to-day weigh-ins are for you to learn your body because you have to know how and why you fluctuate, and you have to be okay seeing those numbers fluctuate. You have to be okay seeing those numbers fluctuate. Otherwise, they will always emotionally stir you up. And then if you're wondering, okay, am I on track? Then that is when you take the weekly measurements and compare. So day-to-day collecting, weekly comparing. And if it goes down, awesome, right? Even if it's only gone down an ounce, 0.1 of a pound, you now know that it has gone down, which means you're on the right track. You have real confirmation that you're on the right track instead of thinking, feeling, or hoping like you're on the right track. Those are not going to help you, right? When I talk to women and I hear them use the words, I feel like I'm doing really good. I feel like I'm on track. I think I'm doing everything right. I can guarantee that they don't have a list of data to show me to prove that they're doing well. And then therefore aren't doing as well as they think. And maybe you've been caught in that trap before. Maybe you think you did really, really well all week. Then you did your weekly weigh-in, compare it, and you're like, I thought I put in more effort than that. But you also weren't tracking during the week. You weren't tracking your data, your habits. You're prepping X, Y, and Z, so you don't know. You just feel. And feelings are important, but have feelings lied to you before? Has feelings steered you wrong before sometimes? Pointed you in the right direction, made an irrational decision, right? So daily weigh-ins, super important. I'm telling you, you need to learn your body. You don't know it. It takes a lifetime to learn your body. So start and be okay with it changing. Be okay with it kind of being a mystery right now. It's okay. It should be. That's why we struggle with our weight, because we are out of touch. We are out of sync, right? We eat food when we're not hungry. We don't eat when we are hungry. Our hunger cues are messed up. Our cravings, our hormones. We don't understand our body. So how could you possibly make the right decision the first week trying to lose weight, the second week, the 10th week, the 50th week trying to lose weight? How could you possibly make the right decision every time, all the time, from now until eternity, when each new phase you're learning something new about your body? So you better as hell collect your data so you can compare and look back. Otherwise, you're going to be confused. Otherwise, we're just judging on our emotions. And I can tell you most of the time, women are just going to say, yeah, I'm doing good. Yeah, I'm on track. But have you progressed? But are you happy? But have you learned your body on a new level yet? Don't discredit that. It's the only relationship that you will have from now until you die. And it is the deepest relationship you will ever have. It is the most complex relationship. It is the most ever-changing relationship you will ever have from now until you die. Have you been giving it attention? Have you been fostering your relationship? Have you gotten closer with your body? Or are you just living in it? Passing the time, distracting yourself with something else. It's a very important relationship. And I wish there was something more sexy I could tell you than data, right? But it really is data. Like, you are a scientist trying to learn your body. So just embrace the role. Embrace the role of trial and error. That's all scientists do. Most inventions weren't invented to solve the problem they solved. They were invented to solve another problem, and by accident, they solved this problem. I think that's how penicillin was invented. It wasn't meant to do what it did. It was like, oops, here's some moldy bread. What can this do? Right? Like, have fun experiments like that with your body, and you will learn new things and you will appreciate it more. And when you can appreciate it, you can give it more patience and more grace. And then you have more peace of mind. It's not this thing that you're disconnected with, that has a mind of its own, that you don't understand why it's acting and doing these things. Right? It shouldn't be like that. We shouldn't be so disconnected where we don't know why our body's doing things. Why am I constipated? Why can't I sleep? Why won't the scale go down? If you have a bunch of whys about your body, you've got lots of work to do. And it doesn't start by getting mad at the scale. It starts by collecting data, right? Like your daily weigh-ins, like your weekly comparisons on the scale, but also, how many hours did I sleep last night? How much water am I drinking? Right? Does oatmeal affect my stomach? Does rice affect my stomach? Which carb affects me better? Which carb makes me tired? Which carb makes me energetic? There's so much. Your body is so unique. There's not another one out there like it. Learn it. If you want to become a master of anything, it's a master of your own body. It's the one vehicle you get that's going to take you through life. So you might as well become, your NASCAR driver, racer of your own body. Clearly, I'm very well versed in that sport. So really take that serious and learn your body. And it doesn't start by avoiding the facts. When we are down, when we're screwing up, when we're not seeing progress, we avoid the facts. We think we can fast track and get back on track faster and then look at the facts. So the facts will look a little bit better, but look at the ugly facts. Look at the ugly truth. Because the more you look at it, the more you understand it. And the more you understand it, then you can choose the right option. You can choose the right decision, the right action. Because most of the times, when you're trying to lose weight and you're not seeing results, or you're not seeing results at the pace you would like, it's just because your energy is frazzled, you're confused, and you're putting that energy in the wrong place. That's it. You can do it. And you do have the motivation, and you do have the drive, and you do have the ambition and the determination and the dedication. Like, you have all these traits that we think we're lacking. You have them because they show up in other areas of your life. You're a committed wife. You show up to work on time. You provide for your children, X, Y, and Z. Like, you have these traits that would benefit you in weight loss. It's just because we don't understand where our body is at and what it's doing, we're throwing things to the wall hoping it sticks. And when it doesn't, that's not a signal that it's the wrong thing. It's the signal to you that should, lights should be going off in your head saying, oh, just energy's in the wrong place. Oh, have I looked at any data lately? Or did I just step on the scale this morning and it went up 0.5 pounds from yesterday and I'm pissed? Would a scientist be pissed, or would a scientist say, okay, I got 6 months worth of data. Let me look back for a second and see what this is. Oh, I'm lactose intolerant and had some cheese last night. I can calm down and keep my head up and go forward with positivity instead of discouragement. As obvious as lactose intolerant sounds, you have those versions in your life that cause you to bloat, that cause you to retain, that cause you to slow down. There's something that's obvious in your life that because you're not looking at the data, you're missing. And I don't want you to miss it. I want you to learn your body. I'm not an expert at my body. I'm still freaking learning. Oh my goodness, it's a lot. It's a lot. And it's confusing and it's overwhelming, but all fit queens are on the same journey. And if one can do it, you can do it. So no excuses, even though we all feel the same. We all feel the same way. I feel just as overwhelmed, just as confused. It just pops up at different times. So we're all going through it. We're all choosing to continue. And no one said you had to do it overnight. You're rushing to the destination. You will not get there until you truly enjoy the journey. You will not reach your destination until you truly enjoy the journey. And you only enjoy the process when you can appreciate your body. And if we're always looking at what we're lacking, what we don't have, what's not happening, there's no room for gratitude or appreciation. If you hate the process, what makes you think you're going to like the result? Just magically, I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. Got there, woo! And life changes overnight, from one night to the next morning. You got there and then it's all fine and dandy all of a sudden. No. So like I was saying, my biggest piece of advice in terms of, you and your relationship with the scale is use it as a piece of data, but make sure you are interpreting that data properly. Day to day is learning your fluctuations. Week to week is measuring your progress. Big difference. Big difference. You're a scientist. Put on that thinking cap and pull data from wherever you can. Start with the scale, then go out, pick somewhere else simple that you can keep track of, right? Ryan and I, we weigh ourselves every day. We also track what time we wake up every day. Did we follow our meals every day? And I can tell you, when I have a bad day, I can go check my data and I'd be like, duh, I could have predicted that. I slept in 30 minutes every time. And there's something like that for you. It's linked back, and I don't want you to miss that, because it makes life really simple when you can say this caused this, instead of, where do I look? Because then we choose not to look, because there's too many places to look, right? So if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, you're going to be super disappointed. If you look at your weight every day, expecting that to show you progress, you will be disappointed. And when you're disappointed, you're going to be more likely to give up, right? We are surrounded by data, but we're starved for insight. Put your blinders on, choose the data, and then look for the insight. Not just collecting as much data as you can, right? Like reading all the diets on Google, right? Keto, fasting, Atkins, X, Y, and Z, right? Don't fill your head with all that data. Hone in on yours and put insight to it. We're starved for insight. We don't understand all the stimulation we're getting. Understand yours, nobody else's, and nothing else. Yours. Be insightful. Get insight. Gain insight. It takes time. Because if you can't explain it, you don't know it well enough. And if you don't know it well enough, you don't deserve to have it. And why would you get it? How would that even make sense? Do you want a doctor who kind of knows what they're doing? No, right? So why would you want to be that version on your body? If you cannot explain why your body's doing what it's doing, what the scale's saying, what the data means, if you can't describe that, then you don't know your body well enough. So why should you reach your goals? If you haven't worked towards mastery of your body, why would you lose weight? Why would you be at your goal? It just doesn't even make sense, does it? Makes sense. You can't explain it. That's the first step. Right? If you can't explain it super simple to a third grader and have a third grader understand why your body does what it does, then you don't know it well enough yet. So that's where you should start. Right? Because you can give a freezing caveman a pack of matches. It's the answer to his prayers. He doesn't know what the hell it is. He's going to stare at it. He's going to throw it at the ground, try to eat it. And he's going to freeze to death. When the answer was in his hand all along. You have the answer. You're not looking, or your perspective is wrong on it, or you're not paying attention. So, if you take anything away from this call, it's be your own scientist on your body. Experiment, collect, analyze, do it again. because that's the only vehicle you're going to get, and you might as well be an expert on it. If you found this podcast valuable, I hope you leave us a 5-star review. And if you want to learn more about the Fit Queen way of weight loss, visit www.fitqueen.com. Thank you for listening, and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss another episode.